It's bloody fucking Friday! Let me give you all the relevant UFC news from this week so that you don't miss anything UFC related. Hello and welcome to Bloodsport MMA.
Salam alaikum to everyone.
This is a new series now that I'll do every Friday where I give you all the news or all the, in my opinion, important news, interesting news, MMA related from this week. So I would say without further ado, let's go.
All right, let's get this show started.
So why not just start with the big thing this week, okay? And you can of course skip this if this does not interest you. And please be prepared. There will be some offensive words and some explicit content that I will tell you about right now. So if you don't like that, please log off now. So it's about Conor McGregor allegedly raping a woman at the NBA Finals. If you have not seen it, last weekend Conor McGregor was at the NBA Finals and he was promoting his title Sports Spray. That's also another news. Allegedly the mascot that he hit had to go to the hospital, but I can tell you that's a sketch. DC did the same with a mascot one day. Wilder did that. They always do that, and this was just to promote Conor McGregor's title Sports Recovery Spray, right? And so, according to TMZ, which is always a very good source, the woman claims that, and I will read you exactly what they write here, he violently sexually assaulted a woman inside a man's bathroom. The NBA, so the claim is that the NBA and the Heat, Miami Heat, the NBA team security, helped separate the woman from her friend and then forced her into a restroom that McGregor and his security guard were already inside of. Alright, okay. In the letter, Mitchell says, security refused to let the woman exit or allow anyone else, including a friend, inside the bathroom. The lawyer then claims McGregor emerged from inside of a handicapped stall, and shoved his tongue in the victim's mouth and aggressively kissed her. According to the letters, the woman was able to get McGregor off her by telling him she had to urinate. But then McGregor allegedly forced her to have oral sex with him. McGregor is then accused of grabbing the woman and pinning her. I'm gonna pin you. Not funny.
I'm gonna pin you. This is my game.
The woman and pinning her against the wall before attempting to sodomize her. Mitchell says in the letters that the woman was able, and this is it, please listen carefully. Mitchell says in the letters the woman was able to elbow McGregor repeatedly, which gave her her window to escape. However, she allegedly fled in such a hurry she left her purse, which Mitchell says McGregor's security guards hold hostage until she pleaded with them for its return. According to the letters, the woman finally got away from it all and went on to report the assault to local authorities on Sunday morning. And what's also interesting is that she's not pressing charges, which tells you a lot. And look, I always say stuff like this has to be treated seriously. If someone gets sexually assaulted, that's a serious thing, a very bad thing. But my problem with that is that, first of all, that story sounds so unrealistic in every regard. You want to tell me that Miami Heat security, the NBA official security, plus Conor security all played together, force a woman into a bathroom, no one sees this, allegedly, forces her into a bathroom where McGregor waits with his securities and does all these things in front of the security, right? And McGregor is a double champ, a mixed martial arts double champ, and she, a woman, a random woman, managed to elbow him during a sexual intercourse, elbow him until she flees. Of course, if there's security inside there, and first of all, she couldn't elbow McGregor without him able to do anything to defend himself. And security is just standing there watching and she can flee. But of course, her purse falls down and then she comes back. And when she comes back, it's all good. She can make a deal with the security to go out. It seems so unrealistic to me. She's not even pressing charges. If something would have really happened to you guys, I can guarantee you she would press charges. She just wants money. That's all she wants. She wants money.
McGregor wants money!
And now she tries to ruin McGregor's life, his whole image, just to get money. in my opinion, if it turns out to be wrong, which I am pretty certain about, she should get at least 10-15 years prison sentence, because stuff like that needs to stop. But write your opinions in the comments, guys. Don't worry, guys, all the next stories will be much quicker. This just had to get off my chest, okay? So, we have a very interesting fight announced. Henry Cejudo versus Chito Vera is targeted for UFC 292, which happens on August 19th, which is the card where O'Malley headlines against Aljamain Sterling in Boston, per Dana White, which is a pretty reliable source, right? That's an interesting fight because, I mean, for Henry, Chito just lost his last fight. So it's kind of weird to say the winner of that fight gets a title shot, because why should Chito get a title shot when he just lost to Corey Sandhagen? Of one win getting a title shot, that would be weird. But what I think, what the UFC's thought process is, what I think, they want Aljo to lose. They want Sterling to win the fight, right? O'Malley to win the fight. If O'Malley wins, there's two matchups that are phenomenal that sell a lot. It's Henry Cejudo. They have a big history. They talked a lot of trash about each other. Both can sell a fight. This will be a big pay-per-view. And Chito Vera, the only guy to ever beat Sean O'Malley. And Chito Vera is also a huge fan base. That makes a lot of sense that they want either one of them to fight O'Malley next for the title, right? So that fight is booked. Then, another Conor McGregor news. Conor McGregor, but this time positive one, and his fiancée are expecting a fourth baby. Baby number 4 is on the way. He already has 2 sons and 1 daughter. The 4th baby, the Chandler, hasn't been revealed yet. I don't know how many months she's pregnant. The Devlin, that is. But congratulations to you, the Mac. I hope the baby will be healthy and well. So, non-UFC. Yoel Soldier of God Romero fights for the light heavyweight Bellator title this weekend at 46 years old, which has to be mentioned. That's phenomenal, and only love for this guy. But the funny thing is, Romero, if you see him, you think this guy's afraid of nothing. But the Bellator had a press conference and a face-off in the tallest or highest building in Chicago, where the fight is, and Romero didn't attend. Why? Romero is scared of heights. Romero said he's claustrophobic and scared of heights. That's the only 2 fears he has in his life. So they had the face-off virtually. They had Nemkov there with the belt, but Romero was virtually attending the face-off, which was kind of funny. Then, another Conor McGregor news. Conor McGregor allegedly, from an insider report, Conor McGregor is no longer interested in fighting Michael Chandler. The UFC is already pitching new opponents in case McGregor does make the USADA cutoff date. Related to that news, McGregor, actually at the time now, there should be a yes or no. 2 days ago, the USADA came out and said McGregor still hasn't submitted his voluntary first sample, because when you first back in the USADA pool, you have to submit a voluntary sample that you have to give them. Normally they come to you and collect it. With the first sample, it's different. And he still allegedly hasn't sent that sample. And if he does not do that, he's not in the USADA pool, so you have to wait another month. But yeah, it seems like somehow that the McGregor-Chandler fight won't happen. And it's really interesting. And Charles DeBronx reacted to this, and he wants to fight Conor. And even though I think that's a fight that sells better, I don't believe that if Conor doesn't want to fight Chandler, that he wants to fight Oliveira. I believe the only reason why Conor would not want to fight Chandler is because he only wants to fight for a title. So Conor would either want to fight for the BMF title or the lightweight or the welterweight title. I don't think he wants to fight Charles DeBronx for a non-title fight. So we have 3 bangers announced from the UFC. Banger number 1, related to the one I just mentioned before, is the same division, bantamweight division. Corey Sandhagen versus Umar Nurmagomedov on August 5th. So 1 week or 2 weeks before the O'Malley fight, before the Chito Henry fight. Pretty nicely scheduled. Because even there, Sandhagen just beat Chito. That's why I believe if Sandhagen wins that fight, he needs to get the title shot. It doesn't make sense if Chito wins his next fight and Sandhagen wins his next fight, that Chito gets the shot before Sandhagen, because Sandhagen beat Chito 1 fight ago, you know what I mean? But that's an interesting fight, a very risky fight for Sandhagen, not much to win in my opinion, and everything to win for Umar. UFC Singapore, Max Holloway versus the Korean Zombie, a fight that we were waiting for, the fight that Max Holloway wanted. I think he will absolutely destroy the Korean Zombie, but that's a fun fight. August 26th in Singapore, probably a main event. Max Holloway versus the Korean Zombie Chang Song-Yung. UFC Paris has probably a main event. It's Cyril Gane against Sergey Pavlovich. Pavlovich just comes off a win. Sergey Spivak, sorry, Sergey Spivak. Spivak just comes off a win against Derek Lewis, a very dominant first round submission win. And Cyril Gane just comes off a first round submission loss to John Jones. That will be a fun fight, and that will test Cyril Gane's grappling once again. Then Alexander Volkanovski came out and said he wants to hold all 3 belts at the time.
All the belts.
He talks about the featherweight belt, the lightweight belt, and he wants the BMF belt as well, which is definitely possible for him. I think he has the tools to beat everyone in the lightweight division. So more power to him. Then we have, Juliana Peña came out after the retirement of Amanda Nunes. She was very pissed. Went on Ariel Helwani's show and said, as far as I'm concerned, I still have a win over her. If we're in the streets, she's dead, you know, she already died. So Peña is still very angry that Nunes retired. She says she's afraid of her, blah, 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 blah. Look, Peña makes a smart move with that because she gets a lot of attention for that. A lot of negative attention because it's completely nonsense what she talks about. But at least she's getting headlines, you know what I mean? And that's what you need to do. That's what sells pay-per-views. That's what gains you money. So more power to Peña. What should I say? It's nonsense, but what should I say? That's a nice story, a feel-good story. Themba Gorimbo, a UFC fighter, new UFC fighter, came out after his last fight that he won and said, with a screenshot of his bank record that says $7.49, and the quote is, "This was the money left I had before the fight, and now God granted me a good win, and it's going to be a great one going forward. If it wasn't for the free UFC meals I started to receive after I signed the fight, I would probably be singing a different story. Grateful." So before his first UFC fight that he had a few weeks ago that he won, in a very good performance, he had $7 left in his bank account, which is kind of crazy. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson saw that and responded, "This is fucking crazy to see and brings back many emotions and memories. $7.49 in this fighter's bank account. I once had $7 too. I've been there on that grind. Got your back, brother. I'll help. You got this. I'll be in touch." So he then probably reached out to him, and I don't know if he just sent him money, if he gave him The Rock sponsorship, what, I don't know, but big up to The Rock and beautiful for Gorimbo. Very happy for him to hear that. So then we have some fight announcements again. And this is a big step up in competition and a very interesting fight. It's Geoff Neal taking on Ian Garry. Ian Garry just came off a knockout win against Daniel Rodriguez, and he called out Neil Magny. But maybe the UFC didn't get that he called out Neil Magny and booked him against Geoff Neal, which is pretty much of a similar name, but in my opinion, much tougher matchup, because Geoff Neal is a phenomenal boxer who just had a all-out scrap against title contender Shavkat Rakhmonov. So this will be a very tough fight, but a very fun one. This will be a stand-up war, and the fans can definitely look forward to it. It takes place on August 19th. Johnny Walker, UFC light heavyweight, has a brother, and that brother is, I think, 10-0 in MMA, or something in MMA, and he got signed by the UFC now. And he makes his professional UFC debut on September 23rd against Jake Collier in the UFC heavyweight division, which is really nice news. Now we have a new brother team in the UFC. Johnny Walker and I don't even know Walter Walker is his name. Aljamain Sterling came out and said that Sean O'Malley will be his last fight in the UFC bantamweight division. So he said after the fight against Sean O'Malley, he will 100% move up to the featherweight division and make space for his buddy Merab Dvalishvili to fight for the title, which is nice for Merab. It's more than deserved for Merab, and it was about time for Sterling to move up because he does such a tough wake-up for 135. Smart by him. Staying with Aljamain Sterling, Dana White gifted Aljamain Sterling a brand new green Lamborghini. we don't know what the talks were, but apparently there was something going on that Dana told him he will buy him a Lamborghini, and like some time ago, and now he finally did it. I could see that Dana maybe said, hey, if you sign to fight Sean O'Malley, I'll give you a Lamborghini, because Sterling just fought a few weeks ago and is already booked again for August, which is a very quick turnaround, and maybe that was the signing bonus or something. I don't know, but cool for Aljamain and big up to Dana. Then for the last news of today, which is not too much of a news, just an interesting thing, is Sean Strickland, Alex Pereira, right? Sean Strickland, Alex Pereira fought. Strickland went to sleep. Pereira knocked him out with a left hook. And now they trained together, which is kind of cool. Sean Strickland went out to Glover Teixeira's gym, the former light heavyweight champion, and trains there at the moment with Glover and with Pereira. And they seem to be pretty buddies right now. And they're sparring a lot together, allegedly. And if you know Strickland, you know that he's a guy that really likes to spar. And he came out and said, here's the thing, you guys. Like a car video. Here's the thing, you guys. I can spar Alex Pereira all day. I can hang in there. But the problem is, as soon as he touches you, you fucking die. That's exactly what Strickland said. So Strickland probably got clipped again in training, I don't know. But he basically just said, look, it's not hard to fight Alex Pereira. I can stand with him. The problem just is, I can hit him and nothing happens. If he hits me, I'm dying. So that's what Strickland came out and said. Good for Strickland that he trains with Pereira and with Glover. I think that's a good gym to mix it up a little bit. And this was the news for today. If you have any other news that you saw, write in the comments. What was the craziest story? Write in the comments as well. What is your opinion on the Conor Assault thing? Write in the comments, guys. Like this video, I'd highly appreciate that. Subscribe to that channel, boys and girls. Thank you so much in advance. Have a great weekend. Until next Friday, bloody freaking Friday. And don't forget to eat your vegetables and eat your fruits, guys. Until the next one, bye-bye. Bloodsport out.